ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crossing Borders. I'm Mike In. That's Extremo Alex Soto. Back again for another episode. This week we are breaking down and kind of giving our preview for LUX Fight League 25. That's happening this Friday in Monterrey. We got the interim flyweight title on the line, Kike Gonzalez versus Jorge Calvo. So we'll talk about that. Irvin Amaya versus Kevin Garcia. That's going to be a fantastic fight. So we'll talk about all that. Of course, before we get into everything, you know the deal. Pay the bills. Go check out FightersFirst.shop. Let our apparel be a part of your story. We got Alex Soto's collection in there, the Extremos collection. We got the Crossing Borders shirts. We got a Day of the Dead shirt in there. We got a cool vintage shirt in there. Check out all that. FightersFirst.shop. All right, Alex, it's been a couple weeks. We didn't get a chance to really get our preview in for Kike and Jorge like we were going to talk about last week. Business and other things got in the way, but we're here right before the show. But it's also kind of bittersweet for you, right? Because you're going down to Mexico for a fantastic fight, but right in your backyard of San Diego, the UFC decides to come the weekend. You're not home.
Yeah, I know, right? That's a big bummer, man. But it's all right. I mean, I remember watching Uriah Faber fight here at the same arena. It was Uriah Faber, I guess against Thomas Brown. Okay. In the WEC fight there, and that took place here in San Diego.
I was about to say, I thought it was Cruz, but then that Cruz fight, I think, was in San Jose, right?
I believe so, yeah. That was a San Jose one. They fought several times now, but and then also it was when John Jones took out that Russian dude. Starts with an M. I forget. It was when John Jones was still kind of like the new guy. You know,
when he was coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go back and look. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So many fights every single week. I barely remember what happened last week, let alone what happened, like 10 years ago. So, honestly, I was actually going back and looking up some stuff the other day, and I had actually forgotten you had lost on the card I had saw. Like I thought you had won for some reason, but you had lost to Francisco Rivera because I saw his name pop up somewhere, whereas he was doing something. He was fighting. He'd fought in Combate a few times. Like I was looking at some Combate stuff, and I saw he was in Combate now. And I was like, damn, how come he's still fighting and I'm stuck with Alex every week?
I saw that too. He's fighting for some Fight Fit promotion, something or other. I forget which one. He almost fought for LUX, actually. We had an opponent for him, but he ended up dropping out because he had a COVID or something ended up happening. But he was going to fight for LUX. And I thought that was going to be really cool to see a former opponent, out there still fighting.
How would that work, though? Francisco X, regular Francisco? Like, how does that work on the same show?
I don't know. There's too many, man. Too many to count.
You're like, no, I'm not talking about you, Rivera. I'm talking about him, Rivera. Now, which Rivera are we talking about?
Yeah. He's still.
And now here you are every week with Francisco X Rivera. That's just got to be like, wow.
Yeah. Lots of it. Pretty common name.
And real quick before we get to LUX Fight League, congratulations to your guy Manolo. He's got Juliana Miller just won the Tough for the females. She put on a fantastic performance. I was trying to text Alex. I'm like, yo, I need an interview, bro. I didn't know that she was one of your girls. I didn't know.
She's super
rad. Of course, Alex
man.
told me the story, man. Yeah, tell everybody about her real quick. People don't know.
Well, it was really cool, dude. I have memories of walking into the gym and this is back when I was working for Brave back in 2015 and I was walking in there, and I remember just seeing Liz Carmouche. Liz Carmouche is ruthless, dude. She'll just destroy anybody who's there in practice trying to knock you out. And
that's military.
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
It's military. Exactly. There's no off switch. It's like, if you're going to put me in combat, it's go. I'm sure you're the same way.
Yeah, and so she was just, but I mean, Juliana Miller didn't have any hands whatsoever, and she was just hanging in there, man, getting blasted by Lil. I was like, oh, that poor girl, man, that poor girl. She ain't gonna go very far, but she was just, she's been at it. She's been against up against some of the tough, with Ilima. I've seen her up against Pearl Gonzalez, just getting destroyed. And then man, I'm telling you, she's really
all in the gym,
around. Huh?
You mean all in the gym though?
Pearl Gonzalez all in the gym. Pearl Gonzalez. Yeah, I went just trained there as well. But it's just been a great story to watch. I went with her and cornered her in one of her first fights down in Tijuana, and it was in this dungy, back alley. You
always have some Tijuana story.
MMA promotion. That was just put together with, tape and bandages. And it was just, the ring was, shifting left and right. It was crazy. But we went there, it was all dungeon. And you see this girl, Juliana Miller going in there and throwing down and just having a blast and really living her dream. And now she's the Ultimate Fighter freaking champ. That's crazy. Just so
she was
cool,
the underdog in this one too. So I will say, on Art of MMA last week, I did pick her. I said she had I just had a feeling because she was like the hungrier one. Like Rogan Walker has a lot of experience, but Rogan fought Pearl and fought all those people. She's 34 years old, been around a while.
Yeah.
But it was just something you watch this. Like I didn't watch a lot of the season, but I watched enough to like see, this girl just doesn't quit. She just keeps coming. She definitely needs to work on her hands though.
I'll tell you this right now. You're right. But I'll tell you this right now that it's all about the mental game, right? Juliana Miller has been through the ringer in life and in the ring, and there's nothing right now. There's no person right now in that weight class, in her weight division that's got a stronger mentality in the sport than I think she does. And that's just my personal opinion.
I mean, we'll see where she goes. She's got a lot of ability. Like I said, she needs to work on that stance. She kind of has like her hands out here, like she's trying to like find a way to get in on that grapple somehow. Like somehow, let me get on clinch you. Like her hands just all out here, and she's going to get in trouble with her fingers always being out like that too. She's going to have to learn to, especially with all the eye pokes and the focus lately on that. But man, I was impressed. I thought she did great. She got her on the ground, took care of business. Good, a little off balance sometimes, but I think a lot of that was just nerves of the situation.
Yeah, nerves.
She's only 26 years old. As much as you talked about all the stuff she's been through, she's still young.
Very young and very little experience. So, she doesn't have a lot of experience.
Fourth pro fight, I think. So officially anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got a lot of potential. I'm interested to see, and so congrats to Manny and all those guys coaching her. Another Hurricane Awesome product going to the top. So there you go.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, enough rambling. Let's go switch gears. LUX Fight League 25 coming up this Friday. Time for you to head down to Mexico, take care of some business. Yes. Monterrey is the host and headlined by, first of all, this whole fight just took a whole interesting turn a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Because we know Alessandro Costa went to Dana White Contender Series. He won via split decision. He didn't get a contract, though. This fight was almost like Kike Gonzalez and Jorge Calvo for the interim title because we thought Alessandro was gone. And he got a win, but he didn't get like a win. Yeah. So he might be back unless UFC calls him for a late replacement. So this might be setting up either a rematch with Kike Gonzalez, a fight with Jorge Calvo. What do we expect in this main event?
Yeah, well, Jorge Calvo, both Kike Gonzalez, Jorge Calvo have both fought against Alessandro. They both lost against Alessandro Costa.
As many have.
But stylistically speaking, Alessandro Costa had a really tough opponent. Stylistically, we know he was going to get a tough opponent. That's fine, but styles make fights, and unfortunately, it's just how it goes, man. Sometimes when you're matched up stylistically speaking, it could nullify the fight, make it really boring.
He got to win. That's what's important.
That's what's important. That's what the fans really care. When they look at your record, they just care about the win column.
5 years from now, they'll be like, "Oh, he won that fight."
Yeah, exactly. But stylistically speaking, we have Jorge Calvo, Kike Gonzalez for I guess we're calling it the interim championship or the actual championship.
It's interim flyweight championship.
You know how much you love interim championship belts, right? Isn't that like your thing?
I'm pretty sure there's a few rants available on the Fighters First Network with yours truly talking about interim titles. So I'll leave that one alone today.
All right.
There was just cause for this one because, like we said, we thought Alessandro was good.
Regardless, someone's gonna get a belt, and Kike Gonzalez has got the crazy power. He's very exciting to watch. Throws big bombs, flying knees, really hard to pin down. Alessandro, he's the one. Kike almost had Alessandro on the ground, almost knocked out with a beautiful head kick. That was shin bone right on the side of the temple of Alessandro Costa. And he almost took that home. He almost won that. But man, it's just the tenacity of Alessandro Costa that came back, and the champ ended up retaining the title. Jorge Calvo, has very unorthodox striking.
I'm about to say, you talk about tenacity, Jorge Calvo, like the way he. Ooh, go ahead. I'm not.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. Tell me about Jorge Calvo.
No, I was saying every fight I've seen this guy in over the last year has been like scrappy, a battle to the death. Like every single one. Like there's no. First of all, he seems like he's outmatched every time, and then he seems to find ways to just like come back in these fights. It's just crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah. And what sets him apart is that jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu background, man. He's really.
He'll wrap you up.
He'll wrap you up, man. He gets to get all of his wins. I think the last, all of his fights have been via or his wins by submissions have been rear naked chokes. He's like very, very good at getting your back. Really good at getting that submission and then finishing you off. He's got tons of experience with that. And we've seen that every time he steps in the cage at LUX Fight League. And he's accustomed to fighting in Monterrey. You know, people in Monterrey, they know who he is. They really like his fighting style.
I didn't think about that, but that's true.
Yeah. And so like, there's a lot. I mean, both of these guys, you know, Kike is fighting in his hometown of Monterrey. So this is going to be Kike town for sure. But there's a lot of, I mean, we're filling up the stadium now at the Pepsi Center in Monterrey. It's nuts, man. Monterrey crowd is crazy. They love it. They're all crazy about LUX Fight League.
Yeah, last time I saw you guys there, it felt like Vegas. Like the way y'all filled that place. It was crazy.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's just been a blast. So I'm expecting fireworks. You know, it's going to be real tough. I think if Jorge Calvo can take this fight to the ground and be able to hold Kike down, he might be able to get a submission win. You know, we've seen Kike go down with submission losses with Alessandro. But it's
I was about to ask you, like, what's so different about this one in Alessandro? It seems like the same matchup. I mean, Calvo's a little bit longer, but like when it comes down to like grappling versus striking, this is Kike trying to be exciting, which is what made me fall in love with the guy the first time I saw him fight Costa. And here he is against another jiu-jitsu master. Like, what's different? What's going to happen different? Is this going to be the same result?
No, I think the difference is Alessandro Costa's got he's got the hands too to back up the jiu-jitsu. You know, Jorge Calvo's a little bit more. You know, he's scrappy. He's not very. He's not very explosive like you see with Alessandro Costa. You know, he kind of more of a reactionary type of striker, and counter striker as well. So that's the difference there. It's going to be a little bit trickier for Kike to get in on those big explosions, and try to keep this thing a stand up, because Calvo, being taller, being a little bit for his weight class, he's going to try to get Kike into these wild exchanges and try to take him down. Right, trying to wrap him up, get this fight on the ground, and that's going to be key for Jorge Calvo in this fight.
I love when the word taller comes to play with somebody who's 5'5".
Well, they're tiny, man. Though these are
no, they're like. I always joke around as my camera gets blurry. I always joke around when I see like big like Herb Dean in a ring, like the bantamweights or flyweights, and he's like 6'5", and these guys are like. Because he used to fight like heavyweight, and you got these guys, and it's just like what's he gonna do? Put him over his knee and spank him? Like, what's he gonna do? Like, stop it!
Stop it, you two.
But nah, man, I'm excited for this fight because, like you said, we've seen Jorge get hurt. We've seen him get knocked down. Like, it wasn't even just a couple fights ago or a fight ago when he fought Cellular, and it was a split decision, and he was getting rocked early. Comes back, wins a couple rounds, but. Like Gutierrez, another fight, he got that rear naked in the third round. But like I said, he always comes back. Yeah. And Kiki's fast. He comes out strong, ready to attack. I don't know what to expect in this one. Who do you think's gonna come out on top?
Oof, man, this is tough. You know, whenever you go,
we pay you the big bucks. You gotta make a choice.
Yeah. I mean, both these guys have tons of experience. Both these guys have been in the big fight. You know, if I were to guess. I hate doing this, man, but man, I think Kike takes this one. I think he takes it just because his striking is that much better than Jorge Calvo, in my opinion. I mean, I hope these guys don't beat me up when I see them, but I think that's what's going to happen.
I mean, it's rare that you have a size advantage, but I think you're bigger than both these guys.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Kiki's got the. You know, we always say there's levels to this, and I think Kike is so fast and explosive. And we've seen Martin get dropped, Calvo Martin get dropped. We've seen I always go back to his like Tapology page where it says Martin. We've seen Calvo get dropped, and we've also seen him get stopped. You have to go way back to 2019. He lost to Alvarez in Titan FC, got knocked out in the second round. So it's possible he puts himself in bad situations, and he finds a way to usually grapple his way out of it.
He shuffles when he stands up.
He does that too. Kind of like Juliana Miller. And he kind of does that. But it's going to be a fun fight. And it's going to be a great matchup. I know the fans at home are going to love that one. But I think Kike's going to take this one too. I think he's due, and I would love to see the rematch, even though it wasn't a long fight with him and Alessandro.
Yeah,
I would love to see them run that back one more time because it was explosive for the first couple rounds.
Damn.
Yeah. Over in the co-main event, we got another couple LUX veterans. We got Irvin Amaya. We got Kevin Garcia in Alex's favorite division, the bantamweights. Yes. Both are contenders. Both have been around in tough battles the last year or so. What do you expect out of this one?
So Irvin Amaya has been one of those guys. He's the kid that fought in like LUX 3 or 2 before I got started working over there and doing the broadcasting for LUX Fight League. And he's the kid that snapped his shin bone, right? He's like, it's disgusting. Like, just watch that shin just collapse and just like
he broke
Anderson Silva. So, but I at the time I didn't realize how fantastic that kid is, man. His striking is so good. He's got good spatial awareness.
You tell them no, Alex. We had a lot of interruptions last episode. You tell them no. Go ahead.
Well, Irvin Amaya's got like the beautiful stand up. I mean, he's got, like I said, he's got timing down. He's got the spatial awareness of where his opponents are, where the cage is, and he uses all of that to his advantage. And he's just a sniper, man. He really is, and I enjoy watching his stand up. However, he was exposed. You know, he was taken down, he was pinned down. Like, his wrestling and his counter wrestling, his ability to stop the takedown was what exposed him. So hopefully, he's developed that a little bit more in his fight game, and because he's going to need it against Kevin Garcia, because Kevin Garcia went toe-to-toe against David De Leon, and he was doing fantastic in that fight, almost submitting the former bantamweight contender for the championship. And he almost had it. You know, he could have submitted David Mendoza, but didn't quite have it. But there was a couple of close calls, and he's been tearing up the bantamweight divisions, man. He's one of those guys that has been kind of sneaky because he's not really loud. You see him fight, he wins, he dominates fights, but it's not flashy. You know, we're not seeing these, the artistic side of his style, which is what we see with Irvin Amaya.
I don't know how it translates to Spanish, but grit, right? Like gritty, right? Like both these guys. Like we started this show in late 2021, right? And I've seen Garcia fight twice since we started the show. I've seen Amaya fight once, maybe twice, I think once. And every time we kind of pick against him, right? Like we were kind of on the Roy Benavidez train, Costa Rican like fighter that was, up and coming, and Garcia kind of just took him out easily. Jose Roa was on this undefeated streak coming in, and Amaya took him out. And that was just a few months ago. And these guys, like, both of them have won the last 3 fights. They're both on a winning streak. They both have a lot to prove. And both guys you would sit there and kind of underestimate. But now they've managed to find ways to win. Like we talked about Costa, he still won in the Dana White Contender Series. Like, he find ways to win. Amaya's now 8-1. Garcia's now 9-3. Like, these guys, all of a sudden, their records are like, okay, these are contenders. Mm-hmm. And they've just earned it. And that's one thing, like, when you see a fighter earn it, it kind of means more. It kind of reminds me of like Charles Oliveira in the UFC. Like, they keep winning. No matter how they do it, they just keep winning. And then you kind of get a lot more respect for them because they've earned it. In this fight, I kind of think Amaya has a little bit of the advantage. Maybe a little bit more well-rounded than Garcia, but I've learned not to sleep on Garcia. So, tough fight. Who do you think comes out on top in this one?
Oh, man. I think for this one, I'm gonna have to go and lean in with Kevin Garcia, just because of his ability to do the takedowns and how well he did against David Mendoza. I think it was in LUX 7 when he fought Mendoza, and he looked great back then. And I think those are the fights that kind of bring out the best out of you when you fight these high level contenders. Since then, he's been, smashing these guys at 135 pounds. Irvin Amaya is one of my favorite guys. He's one of my favorite 135 pounders because his striking game is like scary. It is scary good.
The Storm.
The Storm, dude. It is scary good. I watch it and I'm sitting there seeing like, how are you seeing this? Like all these openings, he's constantly reading these openings, but he was unable to defend those takedowns. I mean, in his last fight, I'm not exactly sure how that happened. But I mean, he was giving away easy takedowns, and you need to have a good round game. You can't have any goals when it comes to this stuff. Any holes, excuse me, when you have in MMA, especially when you have a big gaping hole, like being able to stop the takedowns. I think Garcia is going to be able to get those takedowns if Irvin Amaya does not show up with a good defense here, takedown defense. And I think Kevin Garcia is going to show up, grab it, and win this fight by a submission.
It's going to be a fun fight. I'm leaning towards the Storm. He's leading. I can't even say Kevin Garcia's nickname. Prendido?
El Prendido.
What's that mean?
Prendido. Like the one that's turned on.
I don't even know how to take that.
Let's turn it up. Let's turn it up.
Turn up the volume?
Yeah, let's turn it up.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah, we'll turn up the volume. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a better translation than that, but yeah, I'll let Francisco X Rivera give me a better one.
Yeah, but they watch our show too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I'll give you the rundown for the rest of the card. I'll let Alex see if any other fights kind of stand out to his excitement. We got Luis Rodriguez going against Victor Navarro. We got Elizabeth Rodriguez going against Luisa Cifuentes. One fight I'm actually looking forward to is Mauricio Nievas versus Marco Covarrubias. Yajaira Romo going against Hannah Ramos. Over in the Challenger Series, we got Juan Carlos Hernandez versus Luis Cabrera. That's the headline for that. We also got Edson Gatica Jamie Londono. Luis Ortiz versus Adrian Cortez. Ulysses, maybe you can help me out with the name. Ceniceros.
Yep.
Versus Efren Tajirina. Guillermo Vidanes versus Erik Gaitan.
Yeah, Erik El Alien, or the Alien.
Is it Gaitan? Like it's confusing me the way that the pronunciation. Yeah, on the A at the end. I'm like,
it's Gaitan.
Gaitan. Okay. Out of all those fights, I know I got a couple. Like I said, I'm looking forward to Mauricio Nievas. Elizabeth Rodriguez is another fun one for me to watch. Who kind of stands out to you to take a peek at on this card for you?
The girls, man. The girls. Choco Romo, man. She's back. She's back again, and she's been. She'll be putting up a good fight up against Hannah Ramos, man. So those are when the girls show up at 115 pounds, you'll see some awesome technique in that fight, man. And we've seen Choco Romo do fantastic in Luke's Fight League. And so I'm hoping to see her back in the cage, man. I'm excited to see how she does. She's also 35 years old, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a lot of experience. She's fought in Combate. She's fought in LUX. She fought somebody we talked about a lot, and we'll be talking about this weekend with Yasmin Urigoy making her UFC debut. She fought her. So a lot of stuff going on with her. Like I said, Elizabeth Rodriguez is somebody I'm taking a look at.
Okay.
They don't actually have her fight on the Tapology page now, and I'm wondering if it got canceled.
Yeah.
I don't see it anymore, but it's still listed on the LUX Instagram page. So I'm hoping that the Ellie Rodriguez fight is still there, because her and Luis South Cup Cifuentes could be a great fight. Hopefully it does take place. And then, yeah, Mauricio Dragon Nievas versus Marco Covarrubias. I think it's going to be a war. Like last time I saw Nievas fight, that was a hell of a battle. So, anything else like you think people really take? Who in the Challenger Series you think we should like keep an eye on?
On the main event, man, for sure. The main challenge, the
Juan Carlos Hernandez.
Guys. Yeah, I mean, you know how I love the bantamweights, man. So of course, dude, those guys will be throwing down. But guys that we've had already on Luke's Fight League already twice. Luis El Chango Ortiz will be coming back. He'll be trying to get that get him back on the win column for Luke's Fight League. He'll be taking on against Adrian Chiva Cortez, who's making his Luke's debut. So it'll be a good matchup with those guys. Every time I see those young guys with 2-1 records, I'm just impressed of how much level these guys are showing up with. So I'm excited about how
a lot of you have like 3 undefeated fighters on the Challenger Series, I think. So,
someone's O's got to go.
Someone's O has got included on the main card. I'm kind of confused how that even made the main card with Luis Rodriguez versus Victor Navarro. They're both 1-0. Like, they must have impressed like heavily to get up on the main card. Should be some good stuff. I haven't seen anything updated other than them. Their last card they announced as far as them like hyping up the fights. So if there are a few fights missing or not there when we come to fight night, just write it off to the fight game because that's how it goes.
That's just how it goes, man.
Yeah, we get hyped up for all these fights, and then all of a sudden it's like, didn't happen.
Last second. We'll lose them at the scale, too, sometimes. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, scale or what was it? Dengue. Oh. We'll lose it to dengue. Which is funny because I saw a couple cases that pop up in Tampa, like right after that happened to Pablo. I was like, oh.
That's nuts, man.
At least we know what it is now.
Yeah.
If you guys are – yeah, there you go. That's Luke's Fight League. Check that out on Friday with Alex and Francisco calling all the action down in Monterrey, UFC Fight Pass, ESPN Deportes, however you see it. But before we get out of here, there's a couple other things we need to talk about real quick. Tonight, Erik the King Silva, the featherweight champion in Luke's, he gets his shot at Dana White's Contender Series. He's going against Anvar Boyanazarov. That's a featherweight fight. Came in at 146 pounds, nice and fresh. He didn't have to cut that extra championship pound. So I'm looking forward to seeing Erik Silva, kind of like Kike Gonzalez, another guy who just comes in ready for war. So that's going to be a fun fight. And then next week, you got Bam Bam Valenzuela making his Dana White Contender Series fight.
Man.
So a lot of Luke's presentation in Dana White's Contender Series. Hopefully one of them come away with a contract. Though selfishly, I hope they don't, so we get to see them more down in Luke's.
Well, we got nobody else for Bam Bam, man.
No, not at that weight class. We've seen, like, who was it a couple weeks ago? We talked about it was 170. That was explosive. But that's about the best you got. Welterweight, maybe like most of Luke's is definitely lightweight and lower.
Right.
You have a couple exceptions, but yeah, Bam Bam almost has to win because, like, yeah, who are you going to match him up with? You're just going to keep bringing in people from around the world to try to do like a one-time fight.
He's going to be a superstar in the UFC. Watch. You watch, man. He's going to be a freaking superstar.
Look, the guy has great fighting skills, $1 million body. Like, he's personable, charisma. Like, he's got it all. And he can speak at least a little English. I don't know how fluent, but I've heard a couple of things like him talking in English, so he's good enough to like interview and do certain things. So it's going to be really exciting to watch him next week. And I'm actually, because Erik Silva came in at the last second, he wasn't originally scheduled on this season. I'm excited to see him tonight because he's must-see TV when he gets in that cage. So
yeah,
that's going to be fun. Yeah, he just fought a couple months ago or a month ago.
Yeah, and it was bloody as hell. It was blood everywhere.
So that's going to be fun stuff. And then, like I just said, Yasmin Irigoyen, we profiled her not too long ago. She's debuting in the UFC this weekend. Yep. She'll be in that UFC San Diego card that Alex is going to miss because he's going to be. Well, I mean, you could catch the red eye flight back. It is the next day.
No, dude, that shit sucks. I won't be doing that.
What? You finish the show, you get to the hotel by 1, get on the plane by 3, sleep till like 11. Go do UFC.
No way.
Is Manny and all them going to it?
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I got to talk to Manny. I'll see what's.
He's now a UFC coach. He's now a coach of a UFC fighter.
Of course. He's at it again, dude. He's man.
Well, he has there's another one too, right? That's not just Juliana. You have another one there too, right?
No, I think Juliana's the only one UFC right now.
And then Liz over in Bellator.
Exactly. And Elima as well.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's crazy.
A lot going on, a lot of exciting things happening in San Diego. Any final thoughts today before we get out of here?
Man, stay tuned and check out the site.
Words of wisdom. FightersFirst.shop.
Check out Fighters First.
Yeah, you had a couple people getting purchases right before your last Versus event, and they tried to get me to rush them, and luckily I was able to get them out because we actually have a distribution center right in San Diego. So
hell yeah,
comes in, goes right out the door, and you get it like 2 days.
Awesome.
So I was I was happy we were able to get a couple of your fans like their stuff before the Versus. So that was really cool. Any word when the next Versus is coming up?
Ooh, we're thinking maybe November is probably going to be the next one, but we're still in conversations about when the next one's going to be. But we're excited about it. Everybody here in San Diego loved what we did with Manolo, Andy, and myself have done here for the Muay Thai community. It's crazy, man. Like everybody's been talking about it. Everyone's been really, really happy about the how well everything went, man. It was fun. So much fun.
Awesome, man. I'm really excited for you guys. Really excited. A lot of fun stuff happening there. Ladies and gentlemen, tune into LUX this weekend. See more of Alex's smiling face as he mean mugs for you. This is Crossing Borders. I'm Mike Yin. That's Extremio Alex Soto. Check out the Fighters First Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment. This show is growing more and more. The fighters love it. The fans love it, and we love bringing it to you. Not a lot of people are talking about Latin American fights, so we like bringing it to you. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell us what you want to see next. But this is Crossing Borders. We'll see you next week. We're out.